Kyle Klingman with Trackwrestling. We got a double interview here with the Picklos. We got Brian Picklo, two-time All-American from Michigan State and the head high school wrestling coach at Mustang, and then his son, Tate Picklo, who just won state and is going to attend Oklahoma University. And I see the OU shirt there, Brian, and it's kind of – I mean, that's one of your rivals went to OU, man.
Well, yeah, there's a big story with that as well, but we won't get into that today for sure. But you know, it's OU is how I came to Oklahoma. I came down and coached here. I was a grad assistant at Michigan State, and then Jack Spates hired me to come down and be an assistant here and coach with Jack or under Jack for 3 years, and that's where I met my wife. And well, I've been here ever since.
Were you pretty excited about the decision for Tate to go to OU?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you know, we've been, you know, with him and Cam, you know, my oldest is wrestling there now. He's redshirting this year. Well, did redshirt. I mean, the year's over now, but yeah, we've been such a big part of their wrestling, and I mean, it's been a family thing. So for them to go far away, I think would have been it would have just been hard on everybody. So and big Lou Rosselli fan. Really like his attitude, his just his style, the things that he expects, philosophy. So I think it's a perfect scenario for my boys.
Tate, what went into the decision? Why OU?
A lot of the things that he mentioned with like the distance and the coaches, like I love Lou also, and I like to see what he's doing with the program. And also it's one of the most historic wrestling programs in the nation. Like seven national titles as a team. So like they have some history. They've just been going through a little bit of a slump in the past few years, and I can really see Coach Rosselli bringing them back up, and I want to be a part of it.
Of course, everyone probably wants to know this, and I'm guilty too. What's it like to have a father-son relationship where you're the coach, Brian, and you have your son as the athlete?
You want to talk about it, or?
Yeah, I'll go first. I've seen a couple father-coach relationships, and a lot of times they can get pretty rocky, and the wrestlers get kind of burnt out because their dads are on them all the time. Like, get home always talking about wrestling. But I feel like my dad's done a good job of, once we get home, just stepping back and being the dad and the supportive figure instead of the one on you 24/7 and making you do everything like the coach would do. So it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think I learned by trial and error. You know, I think I figured it out early enough not to not to damage that relationship. Because yeah, I think it becomes really easy to try to be a coach 100% of the time, and you got to wear the dad hat as much, if not more. And so, you know, I think that's the thing that is kind of helped out, being able to not only be the coach, but be the supporter as well. And you know, the cool thing about it now is that we're pretty close to the same size, and we get to train with each other, and it's getting worse and worse for me every day. And so he's got the opportunity to take out some of his teen angst on his old man a little bit. So I think that might help with a little of his frustration. If I ride him too hard, he'll just come beat me up.
So you don't have any of those tricks in your arsenal that you can use and just keep him at bay?
That's about all I'm down to is like old man tricks. Yeah, it's there's a couple things that I have to pull out of my sleeve every once in a while. Yeah, just to make sure that, you know, the young buck is still respecting his elders. But yeah, it's awesome to really get to share in that journey. And you know, I don't think a lot of dads really get to, you know, get in there and really just fight and battle and grind with their son and you know, get to share those type of experiences. You know, I know I didn't. That was, you know, my dad didn't know anything about wrestling whatsoever. So it's been awesome for me, just as a dad, just to be able to take part in what he's doing and where he's going.
you are in law enforcement, and how does that work for scheduling for you to be able to be the head coach and then be in law enforcement?
So I've actually been I teach at our police training center. So I'm one of the instructors at our police academy. So I work pretty regular hours, work from 7 to 3, and then as soon as 3 o'clock rolls around, I hightail it over to the high school and we start wrestling practice. So it's regular, Monday through Friday. So it's worked out really well. I've got into a spot in my career where the schedule and everything worked out for me to be able to do it. So it's without being where I'm at now, there'd have been no way.
Is there a good culture in Mustang? Of course, Ken Lacrosse, 1996 Olympic gold medalist, is from there. But do you feel like people are really embracing the wrestling program there?
I think much more so now. We've taken second in the state past 2 years, and that's coming from nowhere. We were
0 state qualifiers, right? We went from 0 to 11 in 3 years.
Yeah, and so state qualifier. 1. So we went from 1 state qualifier to 11 state qualifiers within my first 2 years, I think, taking over. So, so it's the program has turned over, and we're definitely getting more fans. We're getting more people. Our student section's getting rowdy, and it's been a lot of fun with some of our our crosstown rival matches. Just filling up our event center and making it a really great atmosphere. So yeah, it's definitely coming along in Mustang.
Tate, do you feel like you have adopted a leadership role with this team?
Oh, for sure. I feel like I think it hit my freshman year. The team, I don't want to say it wasn't, or it was without a leader, but we didn't have the vocal leader. We had some kids in the room that would always work hard, but they weren't really pushing others to work hard. And I felt like that was something I could step in, because I'm a really vocal guy. I like to speak my mind and let people know what they're doing wrong. So I feel like once I stepped into that role, the whole kind of culture changed, and everybody got on board pretty quickly.
Yeah, we had. I remember there was a dual meet. It was Tate's freshman year. He's a freshman, 14-year-old kid, and he was injured. Ended up tweaking his back a little bit. Didn't get to wrestle. It was a big duel for us. Edmond North, a team who we hadn't beat since I took over, and so and Tate's out of the lineup. But going down the lineup, it was mathematically we should have won, and we ended up not losing. A bunch of people took a step down. We just didn't wrestle well as a team. And I go to debrief after the duel, and I was like, "What to do?" Even during warm up, it was just the vibe was off. Just they weren't firing on all cylinders. It was a weird, funky feeling, and I knew it was kind of bad from the get go. And then after the duel, I'm talking to our seniors, and I'm like, "What's the deal, guys? It was off from the beginning." And they said Tate wasn't here. Tate didn't. It was like, this kid's a freshman. You guys have been doing this. Oh, this is your team. I'm looking for you guys to step up, but you guys are looking to a freshman to lead. So that really stuck out to me. Even that early, as a 14-year-old kid, he's leading these kids as to what needs to be done and how it needs to be done.
I love your story, Brian, and we can't get into all of it here because it'd take probably 2.5 hours, and that would just scratch the surface of it. But you're a great storyteller. Do you think Tate has some of your ability to tell good stories?
I think so. He's a talker. He can tell some stories.
You feel like you got that from him, Tate?
Sure. Hearing so many stories, you can't not pick up on a couple things.
Now, you got to tell the story, though. Is it legit that you really didn't know what a forfeit was?
No, you have no idea how clueless I was. Well, no, I knew what a forfeit was, but they told me I was gonna wrestle this guy named Forfeit. That was the joke of it. And so I was just too dumb at that point to go, wait, that looks like a forfeit. it didn't even register. I was such a young, gullible kid. And so, yeah, I got convinced I was wrestling the French Canadian national champion, forfeit.
But don't you think that's an advantage for you that you had to come from zero all the way and learn the entire process? Like, isn't that an advantage in what you do?
I think 100%. I think 100% because I can relate in a way that some people can't. You know, I can relate to people that are not very good at this moment and say, you know what, I sucked too. But hard work, perseverance, and doing the things that need to be done when they need to be done, whether you want to do them or not, that's the way, that's the path. That's the way you're going to get there. And so I think I can speak to, you know, and then I can speak on the other side, you know, to guys like Tate. Like, okay, not only did I suck, but I also achieved kind of a high level of success at some point as well. So I know what it takes to get there, to stay there. And then also I can talk to the guys trying to come up from the bottom. So I think because I got to experience such a wide range of wrestling in a short amount of time, yeah, it really opened me up to be able to talk to such a wide variety. You know, because most people are going to go through those hard times, but they're going to go through them, you know, way early in life, or junior high, that kind of stuff. And me, I went through the entire gamut within 5 years, you know. And so, yeah, I think, yeah, it's definitely helped me out as a coaching tool.
Tate, what's the next year look like for you? You got one more year of high school, but what's the training cycle look like? And do you want to get into some of the cadet and juniors and try to qualify for more teams like you qualified for the cadet Greco team last year?
Yeah, I was hoping this summer to try to make a freestyle team, and then all the other stuff happened and kind of threw it out the window. I don't know if it's officially canceled yet, but as of now, it's postponed for a while. So next year, I'm just looking forward to back into getting into high school and having one last chance to win the state title as a team. I've done it twice by myself, but the team state title is really looking for most, and I just want to do everything to help them. And then getting into the RTC as much as I can and training with those college guys and kind of getting a feel for what that next year will be like in college.
What is it you like about Greco?
I like Greco just because I'm kind of fearless. Like, not many people, whenever you wrestle, like collegiate or freestyle, are willing to go big. And in Greco, you can just go upper body and just see who has the guts and who can go first. So it's kind of cool to just open up and be able to throw people who are scared to get thrown.
What do you guys feel like the landscape of Oklahoma high school wrestling is? Because it's pretty heavy with California, New Jersey, and PA, of course, Ohio. But do you feel like Oklahoma's in a good spot right now?
I feel like because Oklahoma's broken up into 4 classes, and like California only has 1 class, so you get to see all their hammers clash with each other. But we're in 4 classes, so I feel like we have just as much talent, but we're spread out so much you don't see it at like the state tournament. So I feel like if Oklahoma was in 1 class, we would have like one of those powerhouses that we get to see the hammers go head to head.
Is that what you'd like to see? 1 class?
I think that'd be cooler. Like our junior high state championship, only there's no classes. It's everybody against everybody. And I feel like junior high state tournament is almost a harder tournament than high school state because you get to see we have Mustang, Broken Arrow, and Choctaw, which are pretty highly ranked teams in 6A, but then you go down to 4A and you have Picklo. So when you're in the junior high state tournament, you get to wrestle all of them in one. It's cool to see how all that turns out.
Now, your dad mentioned that you guys are pretty close in weight, and I'm looking at your dad there. I mean, that's a dude that I would want in a back alley, man. I don't know. I'd be messing with Brian. Like, if you guys win a 7-minute match, Tate, in honesty, like, what do you think the score would be?
I feel like I'd get beat up for 7 minutes, but I've done pretty good this past year on slowing down his offense. So I feel like it would actually be a pretty low-scoring match because he's got some tree trunk legs, I've got some tree trunk legs, and we're both kind of hesitant to shoot on each other. So I'd say it'd be like 4-1 person. It could go either way.
What's the way?
Trying to slow down offense. That is such crap. That
He'll snap me down to a front headlock and just choke me out for the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Slow.
Yeah, I 100% am trying to slow him down. yeah, he's moving and snapping, and yeah, that I don't think he's giving me too much credit there. I'm 100% trying to get him in front headlock. I'm gonna try to remove some oxygen from his brain, and maybe make him fear for his life a little bit, and then we can wrestle. That's kind of
how it goes.
That's my go-to right there. But yeah, it's he beat me legitimately in a match for the first time this year, and that was a pretty proud and emotional and I don't know, sad moment for me. Like we actually came home and he didn't make a big deal. We wrestled a match, and he took me down in overtime. Mm-hmm. So he ends up we go in overtime round, and it's tied going in overtime. He takes me down in overtime, and he didn't make a big deal out of it or anything. And we come home, and my wife has got this candle, on the table, and I pick it up and I hand it to him, and he's like, "What is this?" I was like, and I was like actually kind of getting choked up. I was like, "Passing the torch, son. I'm passing the torch." And like he started to get choked up a little bit, and I think you still kept that candle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's up in my room.
So yeah, it was it's I'm hanging on by a very thin thread, but I'm still trying to get the best of him while I can, because it's not gonna be for too much longer.
So you're the only one that can give him a go in the practice room?
I mean, we got our 220 pounder was a state champ.
195 pounder was a state runner-up.
State runner-up.
12 ranked kid.
Yeah, nationally ranked kid. So I mean, we've got some tough kids, but I mean, you pretty much still, handle those guys pretty well. So yeah, I think, and I can only wrestle them like once or twice a week, and then I need like another 3 days to recover. So but yeah, he's had some good workout partners, but yeah, I like to think that I'm still one of his tougher goes.
I love the connection of how wrestling applies into other areas, and of course, being in law enforcement, it has to apply. Have you used your wrestling background, judo background, in law enforcement to get a situation under control?
Yeah, like all the time. Yeah, that one, I'm a defensive tactics instructor at the police academy, so that's one of the jobs that I do is I instruct our recruits going through the police academy in hand-to-hand combat stuff, our defensive tactics portion of the academy. And then yeah, on the street it was Oklahoma City is still it's still a big city, big time crime. Been in a ton of foot chases, been in a ton of uses of force where I've had to hit some double legs. I remember one particular instance. I hit a beautiful Osoto. It is judo, big Osoto guard, big outside sweep, and just totally upended the guy. And it was so pretty. In my head, I was like, that was awesome. And I look up, and I'm hoping somebody saw it. And as soon as this happens, I look, and my lieutenant at the time, he's actually a major now, but he was lieutenant at the time. He did judo with me, and he pulled up right as I finished it, and I get this guy to the ground, and I look up, and I'm seeing if anybody saw it. My lieutenant steps out of his car, and he goes, "Ippon," which is like full point. Match is over. And so it was one of the coolest moments I had on the street was to get an Ippon and have my lieutenant who's a judo black belt as well just step out of his car and award me the match.
One with Tate, you're of course going to OU in a couple of years, but what do you want to get out of the college wrestling experience?
I've always had big dreams. I want to do the world and Olympic level stuff, but taking the college as its own challenge and trying to be one of the best there is something I'm looking forward to. So I'm definitely going to focus on the college scene and want to be one of the top wrestlers and national champion and hopefully get that Hodge trophy, like the most dominant wrestler. I just want to be remembered as one of the most dominant college wrestlers.
Guys, this was awesome. I really could go another couple hours here, but we got to cut it off. But thanks for the time, and looking forward to seeing what you guys do here in the future. And do me a favor, if you guys wrestle again, please film it and then send it to Track Wrestling. We'll post it.
All right, deal.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks.